Hello everyone, my name is Avik and I'm a musician from last 20 plus years and I play mainly bass. I also do a little bit of composing and I write my own music. So a lot of people, including my students and a lot of my friends who plays bass has frequently asked me this question that what is the ideal bass we should buy? So frankly speaking, there are nothing called ideal bass or the best bass because it's all about your finger. If you have good fingers, then any bass will sound good. But of course, I own a couple of basses, so I will try to explain that what are the advantages and disadvantages of those bases. Because let me tell you, all the bases, most of the bases will have some plus point and some negative points. So if you can work around the negative points and get the best out of it, then that instrument will speak, that instrument will sing. So it's all about that. So without further delay, let's get into this. So the first bass I'm going to explain for you is a Fender P bass. It's a US make P bass. Okay, so amazing instrument. Okay, this is the most expensive instrument I have. So this has got a alder body, yeah, and rosewood neck, and this is 4 string. And this kind of instrument, whenever you see pickup like this, split pickup, then it becomes a P bass. Okay, uh, ignore this is not a pickup, this is just a platform because I play over here and I'm too used to of that bridge pickup. So I have made one platform which looks like a bridge pickup, but this is not a pickup. So this is a complete P bass, fairly simple control. This has got one tone and one volume, that's all it has got. This is completely passive and there are no active electronics involved in this. So what are the advantages of this? It's amazing in tone. Okay, it has got more of vintage tone. So if we really see the how electric bass is evolved. So before the electric basses come, people used to play double bass or upright basses, right? So upright basses, and this has got a very similar tone because this was one of the oldest electric bass guitars ever invented, okay, after the upright basses. So this has got more of vintage tone. Okay, so amazing tonal quality, and a lot of people, there are P bass fans and they play only P bass. So of course there is nothing wrong in it because they love that tone and they want to be in that tone, and they don't play music which is very versatile. They don't play music which is they don't play for various bands and various genres. So their sound is defined and they are fixed in one genre and they play that sound. So for that it's amazing. But this has got a couple of disadvantages. What are those disadvantages? This is not versatile instrument. Okay, so this has got only one tone and you can't change that tone. If you want a brighter tone, you can't go there. Not very versatile. And because it is totally passive, so you have less control. Okay, so you can't do much about the tone. Suppose if you are getting lost in the mix on stage, then you can't do much about it with this bass. Okay, that is another disadvantage. Then the neck is fatter. Okay, the P bass has got a fatter neck, so this neck is fatter, more fat. The jazz bass neck is more thinner, so this is another disadvantage. One more disadvantage is quite expensive. Okay, these are not a instrument which is a beginner level can afford, maybe, so quite expensive. And one more disadvantage is this it's very difficult to get a P bass in 5 string. So most of the P basses are in 4 string. So if you are a 5 string player and if you want to have that sound of P bass, then it's difficult. You have to go for a PJ bass. So only P bass getting in 5 string is difficult. So otherwise, this is an amazing instrument and quite lightweight, and a lot of advantages are there. Okay, so this is the first bass which I thought I will explain. Then I will get into the next bass, which is a jazz bass. Okay, so this is a P bass, and the next bass is a jazz bass. All right. Now this is a Sire V7. I don't know. Yeah, can you see? This is a Sire V7 jazz bass. This body is swamp ash body. The neck is maple wood, and this is active and passive both. There is a small switch there. Can you see? Yeah. So I can switch between active and passive. This is a very versatile bass and jazz style instrument. Two pickups of single coil pickups. Okay, jazz style instrument. The Fender jazz basses are known for that tonal quality of exact jazz bass. If any bass can come close to Fender jazz bass, it's Sire, and it's not that expensive. It's quite affordable, so you can go for this if you're really looking for a jazz bass tone. So I am not playing all this instrument today because the video will become too long to demonstrate the sound. What you can do is I will give all the links of my videos where I have covered some songs with these basses. If you want to check out the tone of my P bass, then you can go for the video of what is hip. Okay, and if you want to check the tone of this bass, then you can check my video of I want to break free. Okay, that video I have played this bass, and all my videos I don't use any pedals. These are all direct bass connecting to my sound card. Okay, so proper tone you will get from my videos. So today I'm not playing any of the basses. I'm just explaining the instrument. So this is a 5-string bass. I will get into in detail whether you need a 4-string, whether you need a 5-string, what are the advantages of all these 4, 5, 6-string, even more strings. I don't have more than 6 strings with me, but yeah, I'd love to have maybe one day. This is a 5-string instrument, and amazing. I do a lot of gigs with this very bright sound because this wood combination gives brighter tone. Okay, but this has also got a couple of disadvantages. What are those disadvantages? It's heavy. Okay, so you need a lighter bass if you are a session gigging musician, and if you are doing a lot of gigs, then you need a lighter bass because it's carrying this for 3.5 hours gig. My neck starts spinning. So I normally avoid taking this bass out too much for gigging. Of course, traveling gig, outstation gig, I completely avoid this bass. Very difficult, inconvenient. Sorry about it. And what are the other disadvantages? Okay, because it has got a lot of controls. I am not getting into that. I have a complete demo of this bass. You can check out that video in my channel again. So this is too much controls. So for some people who like simple things, they might get confused. So for them, it's too many things. I have heard people saying that, bro, why you need so many things, man? I just need one volume and one tone in my bass. So a lot of people don't like complicated stuff. So for them, it's a real disadvantage. And what is that? It's sometimes it's too bright, the tone. So you can of course bring the brightness down. There are 2 tone knobs are there, but sometimes it's very difficult during the playing. If you're coming up making the changes, it's difficult. So what happens is the string buzzing sound comes. So if you have new string, then this will be too troublish, this bass. So these are the disadvantages of having this bass. So again, I'm saying that if you want to check out the tone, then you can check out my cover video of I Want to Break Free, where I played this bass. Okay, this is the second bass. Now I am coming to the third bass, which is in between these 2 basses. Okay, I have explained about P bass, I have explained about J bass. Now I am showing you a bass which is a PJ combination, so which has got both this kind of pickups. Okay, now I love this bass. Okay, this is a Sire P7. That was V7. This is P7. Okay, so this has got P style pickup also and J style pickup also. Okay, the bridge pickup is J style and the neck pickup is P style. And this is also active and passive. Okay, I can switch between that. And this has got the same electronics which the V7 has got. Same thing. Lot of option, lot of tonal qualities. This is again 4-string because P basses are generally 4-string, but I would love to have the 5-string version of the same bass one day. So I'm really looking forward to it, to buy one day one more, P7 which is 5-string, because I will explain again why you need a 5-string bass and why not 4-string bass. Of course, I play 4-string a lot. Jacob played only 4-string, right? So we don't need more than 4-string. But some cases you might feel difficulty with a 4-string basses because we are session musicians, so we are into too many gigs and different situations. But it's an amazing instrument. This body is alder wood body and rosewood neck. Okay, so the maple neck gives a brighter tone, the rosewood neck gives a darker tone. So if you are a finger style player, then I will suggest you go for a rosewood neck. Okay, it will give you a lot of punch. But if you are more of a slap pop guy, then you go for a maple neck because you need brighter tone for the slap pop to come out. Okay, so this bass has a lot of advantages. This is lightweight, looks amazing, cool. I prefer wide basses a lot because the only fact is when you stand on the stage in a gig, uh, this really comes out. Okay, you become noticeable that okay, who is that guy playing that white bass? Okay, so I like that, and this combination of tortoise shell and white, this brown and white combination is amazing. I love this bass. I could not find any disadvantage of this bass. Trust me, I was writing down notes before doing the video, but I just could not find any reason to say that this bass has some disadvantage. It's amazing, it's good in everything. This is a second generation. You can see behind the sticker is there, second generation. I have put SIT strings on this. So this is my main gigging bass and it's amazing. There are no disadvantage of this bass. PJ is my most favorite bass. Okay, so if you want to check out the tone of this video, this tone of this bass, then you check out my video of just beat it. Okay, that video I have played this bass. So generally I keep the tuning half note down for this bass because the band I play for, generally this bass is half note down tuning, so it's always in half note down tuning. But whenever I want to play standard tuning, I push it up by half note. So this is PJ. Then next I will come to my Yamaha bass, which is a rock bass. Okay, so all are different types of basses. So this is a Yamaha TRBX 505 is the model. This is a mahogany body and rosewood neck. Okay, so this is again amazing bass. This is again active passive is there. I can switch between active and passive. And this is a rock bass because this has got two humbucker pickups. So these pickups are quite loud and amazing depth. Okay, humbucker pickups are really good. So if you really ask me ideal bass which I will go for, it should have one P bass pickup here and one humbucker pickup here. That will be amazing. But right now I'm very happy with the single coil PJ whatever I have. But if I ever make a customized bass one day, then that will be the pickup combination for sure, because that's what I like, one P bass pickup and one humbucker pickup in the pitch. So this bass is amazing, very lightweight. Okay, it's very lightweight. This is my main gigging bass, and all outstation gigs and all, everything I do with this bass. It's the tonal qualities are brilliant. So if you want to check the tone of this bass, then you can check my video of Passion Fruit. Okay, I have covered one song. It's a Scary Pocket version, funk song I had covered. So that's video you can watch, and you'll be able to hear the tone of this bass. Very versatile. So what are the pros? Excellent tone, versatile, very lightweight. Sorry about that. My PC is going into sleep mode. Anyways, so very lightweight and it cuts through any mix. Okay, I have played this bass in many gigs and I never faced any problem where I'm not able to hear myself, because it has got that tonal quality of cutting through every mix. And this has got only one disadvantage, which is the action is relatively high because the neck build quality is not great, because this is not a one piece neck, this is a 5-piece neck, and because of that the action is little high. I prefer very low action, so this action is not that great. So playability wise it's not as comfortable as my other basses. And one more disadvantage is you might be able to see this and you must be wondering what is this, because the strings are very far from the body for this bass. Okay, so whenever I was doing slap pop, my finger used to go inside because there are a lot of place inside, so I had to cover up that space so that my finger doesn't go. So it's very difficult to play otherwise if your finger goes inside. Okay, so I had to put one cover. At the same time there is adjustment of the truss rod this side, so I can't put a permanent wood piece over here because I need to remove this. So with a double-sided tape I have put one foam piece which gives the support to the finger when I'm doing slap pop. So these are the two disadvantages of this bass. Otherwise it's amazing. Okay, it's a rock style instrument. Okay, we are done with 4 basses. Then let's go to the 5th bass, which is a 6-string bass. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll change the page of my notes. Yeah, so this is a Douglas USA company. It's a USA brand, Douglas. Not very expensive. Okay, quite reasonable, reasonably priced. 6-string, and this has got again alder body and rosewood fretboard, which I really like. And this is only active. There are no switch to make it passive. So that brings one disadvantage. What is that? If you are going on a gig and if your battery is dead, then basically you are also dead. If you are not carrying a spare battery and a screwdriver, because most of the basses will have, see this, this you have to unscrew this with a screwdriver, then change the battery. So it has happened with me. I was carrying a bass in a gig where it is a completely active bass and there was no option to go passive, and I just did sound check and it was working fine. Just before the gig, when I plugged in, the sound engineer said that noise is coming from your bass, what's happening? Then I thought, oh, everything else I checked, everything was fine, the battery was dead. And just before starting of a gig, to change the battery, thank god that sound guy was very helpful. He himself came from the console and he opened the thing and he changed the battery and I could able to do that show. But it's very inconvenient. Okay, so I will not prefer to have a bass which doesn't have a active passive switch. Only active is a problem. Another problem of this bass, which a lot of people don't notice, it's a neck heavy instrument. Okay, so if you, this balancing goes for a toss. And why it is a neck heavy instrument? Because the nose of this, it should come up to 12th fret. Okay, this is the 12th fret. So when the the belt comes here, automatically it will balance, but that is not the case. The nose is smaller than what it should be. So because of that, it becomes a neck heavy instrument, and also it's a 6-string, so it becomes more neck heavy. Overall it's lightweight, not a problem. Killer tone, amazing tone this bass has got, but that is these are the two disadvantages. And one more thing happens when the neck is not up to 12th fret, your entire visual reference goes for a toss, because I'm too used to of that, having the 12th fret on right above the nose. So I know, okay, this is a note, this is a G note. I don't have to see. Some, most of the time I play without even seeing where my hand is going, because I know this is where the G note is, this is where the C note is. I don't have to see. But for this bass, I have to see because the position is changing. So these are the two disadvantages of this. What else I have written? Neck heavy, not great for, yeah. because it is six string, it's not great for slap pop. The first string comes on the way. Okay, I'll explain about the strings. Okay, why about all the 4 5 6 strings I'll explain. So this is all about this bass. Now I'll go to the last one, which is a fretless. Okay, so this is a Ibanez GSR 505 is the model. This, when I got this bass, it was fretted. Later on I got it converted to fretless. Okay, amazing bass, very lightweight, very convenient to play. I have also put few foams to give that platform, because in fretless I normally play a little towards the neck. I don't go towards the bridge because the sound become too thin. So this bass also has got a couple of disadvantages. That is, again, it's a completely active bass. Okay, no passive option. And sometimes, because this also got humbuckers and active, it becomes too loud and the sound starts distorting. So there is a low frequency pot here. The moment I push this little more than 25%, the sound starts distorting. Okay, which is quite annoying, very difficult to get a clean tone. If I get a clean tone, the low end will not be sufficient enough. So I am planning to convert this bass into passive. Okay, let's see how it goes. That's my next target. So this is a fretless, as you can see, 5 string fretless. Okay, so these are the basses I have, and these are the advantages and disadvantages of this bass. So for if you want to check out the tone of this bass, then you can check out my cover of Happy. And if you want to check out the tone of the 6 string bass, you can check out my cover of Adventure of Lifetime. Okay, all these links I will put in the description. Now let's come to the strings. Okay, so whether you should go for a 4 string, 5 string, or 6 string. Okay, as I said, 4 string is all we need, and if you are a guitar player, the top 4 strings are basically our 4 string in a 4 string basis. So it's very easy. If you are coming from the guitar background, then you should go for a 4 string bass. It will be very easy for you to play because you have already played those 4 strings in your guitar, but the way you have played, it will change. Okay, guitar bass is more of a rhythm instrument, it's not a melody instrument, so you have to keep that in mind. But when you go for a gigging scenario and you are already a established bass player and you are playing with a lot of bands, it has happened with me. Like the 4 string becomes too complicated when there are too many chord changes happening. Suppose it is a complicated song, in one bar there are 2 3 chord changes, and it's become, the hand movement become too much. So 5 string gives a lot of ease on that, because your all the notes are also there on high, they are also there on down, so your playability increases. So 5 string is always better if you playability wise. But 5 string is also better because you get 2 octaves of all the scales. Okay, so that's why a lot of people, it's a most preferred bass is 5 string. A lot of people prefer 5 string basses because these are the 2 reasons. Now when it comes to 6 string bass, it's very good if you're a solo bass player. Okay, if you are playing a lot of notes and if you want to play some higher register solos, then the 6 string has got more higher register, one more string is there down, so you can go high and high and high. So if you're a solo bass player, then you should definitely go for a 6 string. But problem is, when you are doing a slap pop, the first string is, it's difficult. You have to put your finger in between 2 strings and pluck the string. So for slap pop, 6 string is a problem. So the conclusion is, start with 4th string. Then if you are, if you want more option, go to 5 string. If you are getting into solo, then go for a 6 string. Even if you have a 6 string, you should always have another 4 string and 5 string bass with you. That's the suggestion. Okay, now comes to wood. As I already mentioned that swamp ash and maple are bright woods. It will give you a lot of high end, but if you want more of low end, then you should go for elder and rosewood neck. Okay, it's more of low midish tone you will get. It comes to wood. I love mahogany wood a lot. It gives a very sweet tone. Okay, so mahogany is amazing. Apart from that, so if you are a very slap pop oriented person, you play a lot of slap pop, then you go for a maple neck. And if you are a very finger style oriented person, then you should go for rosewood neck. And active passive, I will prefer both. Okay, all my basses I would love to have both active and passive option. So because only passive is another problem, because sometimes you don't cut through in the mix and you don't have much control to do. If you are not using any pedal board also, then it's very difficult to make changes. You are completely dependent on the sound engineer's mercy to push your gain, which normally doesn't happen in a gig. So that's why you should have an active option. What I do is I normally start with passive, and when I'm getting lost in the mix, I go to active mode and I come back like that. Okay, so active passive both. Then 4 string 5 string I already explained, wood I already explained. Then what else you should know about whether it is a jazz bass, p bass, rock bass? That completely depends on your preference. Okay, you listen to all these bass guitar tones in my channel. I have covered many songs with all different type of basses, and just see which tone you really like. If you like more of a jazz tone sound, then you go for a jazz tone. If you like P bass sound more, then you go for a P bass. There is nothing wrong. That's completely up to your preference. And one more point I will tell you: I normally don't preach anything which I don't practice. So it's very difficult to preach this because I don't practice. But still, I have so many instruments because I craved for it once. I never got any support for music from my parents, so I used to struggle to buy guitar. I struggled a lot. So that's why when I started earning money, I kept on buying one bass. So I also couple of more basses I have which are kept in my studio. I'm not able to show you that, but yeah, I have a lot of basses. But it's not necessary to have so many basses. Okay, if you have one or two good basses, then you are sorted. So don't have that gas syndrome. Okay, which is gear acquisition syndrome. Okay, so more than gear, it's all about your playing. Okay, when I will tell you one story, when Mohini De is a good friend of mine. I'm very fortunate enough to have her as a good friend. So I often go to her house and jam with her. So when she gave her bass to me, I just sounded like me. Okay, it's a Mayon's bass. I just sounded like me. And when she took my Douglas and played, still she sounded like her. Okay, so it's all about your finger, your practice, and everything else apart from the equipment. So don't worry about the equipment too much. Don't worry about the instrument you have too much. If you have a decent instrument, decent bass with a accurate intonation and low action, then you are good to go. Okay, don't worry too much about all this. When you will be able to afford, then you can go for a good one. I know many bass guitarists, they have only one instrument. Okay, or maximum two, and they are quite happy with it and they are rocking everywhere with it. Okay, so this is the conclusion. If you are watching this video first time in my channel, then I will request you to please subscribe to my channel and support me. And I have also a couple of other videos coming up here about I will talk about pedals. I'll talk about the recording setup at home. I also own a studio, so I know quite a bit about recording, mixing, mastering, all this. I will do a video lesson. So please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get all these notifications. And that's all. I'll see you in chat. Thank you.